Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to Lunchtime Live. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by Geoff Klafter from the Happily Ever Klafter Daily Sports blog. The Knicks, I was telling Geoff, found a can of whoop ass. You know, like when you think you don't have something and then you move something back and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had another one of those. That's what happened last night. 49-point victory on the road against the Philadelphia 76ers. What a way to rebound after a disappointing loss to the Indiana Pacers at home. Geoff, this is a praise meeting. Like Geoff is ready for the praise meeting. Geoff, how are you? And yeah, what did you see? What did you see last night?
Well, I think it's always important to put things into their proper context, right? And so the Sixers were without Joel Embiid, and they were without Quentin Grimes, and they were coming back off of the West Coast trip, which was a successful one. They went 3-2. But you know how sometimes that first game back after you sleep in your own bed, you're kind of dead-legged? Well, dead legs plus missing those two guys was not a good combination against a Knick team that was determined to erase their mistakes from the night before. So, but we saw just the other game that you have to take care of business, and the Knicks certainly did that. And what's impressive to me, Queen, is that this is a second 48-point plus win of the season, and I think that's only happened 6 times in the history of the NBA. And so that's, you know, context matters, but that something like that does only happen 6 times in the history of the league. That I think that could potentially be significant moving forward. It shows that when this team is right and on, you just want to stay out of their way because they can absolutely steamroll you on both ends of the court.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I predicted that they would win this game, that they would respond, because that's pretty much been their history. But this was like a mega response from the beginning. A lot of bench support. We'll get into that. Every Knick player played and scored last night.
More so than that, though, Queen. More so than that, every player was plus 10 or better in terms of plus minus, besides the rookie. Or no, he's not a rookie, but what's his? He was plus 4. OKC. Dylan Jones. He was plus 4, but he only played 4 minutes. Everybody else was plus 10 or better, and I think all of the starters were like plus 2,000. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was just really good to just kind of watch a stress-free game from beginning to end. Brunson only took 6 shots so I know there's going to be some that's why we won. That's why we won, because Brunson only took 6 shots. This is what Brunson needs to do. Just take 6 shots. Every game is different. Every game is different, and last night it was all good. I mean, I think we have to start with Alvarado, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. You would be remiss if we didn't. That for sure.
He led the team in scoring, 26 points in like 2 minutes. However many minutes I think it was 18 minutes, 19 minutes or something of the sort. All of his shots were 3-pointers, and he hit 8 of them, which was a career high for him. Listen, I don't expect him to shoot lights out every single game, but Geoff, if he can get a dependable, I know you went over the numbers when he first came to us that, he shoots better at certain parts of the court than others. If he can become just a 30 average 3-point shooter, that really helps us a lot when he's on the court. He had 5 steals. I thought that was assists. And then I looked I said, he had 5 steals. He is undersized. Like, you could see it. Like, you could see it. Like, when he's walking even next to Clarkson, I'm like, wow, this guy is little. But the heart in this guy, getting the technical foul, like, when Mitchell Robinson was fouled, and I was reading an article, somebody asked him about it. He said he thought the stare after the foul was a bit too much. And I'm not, like, I actually have it here. Was a bit too much. And I'm like, a bit too much, and I'm not for that, or whatever he said. And I'm like, we've seen Knicks players get pushed down, tripped. Remember when Cat was tripped on his way to the basket with hardly any response, and he didn't like the stare, after a foul on Mitchell Robinson. I mean, shout out to the little big fella, right?
Well, Trendon Watford, he comes up to Watford's belly button, but Watford wanted no piece of that. Like, he didn't want to mess with you. Like, you don't want to mess with the little guy with a chip on his shoulder. There's no way you want to get in the middle of that. But kudos to him. That I think that's one of the things that you talked about. When we acquired him, is that he's going to bring a toughness and an attitude that this team was sorely lacking. And I think you definitely are seeing that already. But as someone who never really watched him play, I am astounded by his ability to pilfer the basketball without fouling. He has a tremendous knack for getting in position where he can just swipe at the ball from underneath and knock it away. Like, you better be on your guard, because if he's coming up from behind and you don't see him, that ball's gone. I mean, I'm told, my dad used to tell me that Clyde was like that when he played, but I've not seen in my lifetime, I can't recall, especially a Knick player who was just so phenomenally quick with his hands. And I think that is an equalizer for his lack of size.
Yeah. And I just like the way, maybe command the offense is a little strong, but I just feel comfortable when the ball is in his hands. You see him directing people, the pick and roll with Cat. He definitely looks for him. I just feel comfortable when he's with the ball. You could tell that he's like commanding things out there. Just a really good pickup for the Knicks. Only 3 games.
That's a great point, though, that I want to piggyback up. The ability for him to get Towns more involved and to make sure that he eats. I mean, that's something that he asked Jalen when he first got there, but you can tell that he's making it a point to really get Towns involved. And Towns shot the ball terrifically last night, and he was really good all around. He didn't have to play a ton of minutes. He did have 3 fouls, which isn't great, but it's still a tremendous performance from both he and Bridges, and we can go into their specifics later on. But I just thought that a big part of what Cat was able to do was because when he was on the court, Alvarado's like, okay, I'm gonna get this guy the ball if I'm not shooting a 3.
Yeah, and Cat with 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. His role is different, and kudos to him that he's kind of taken to it, becoming more of a defender. More of a rebounder. His defense is getting better. He's definitely more active on the defensive end. And when he gets a chance to shoot, he makes the best of it. I think he's stronger with the ball now than in the past. So, I like the way Cat has been playing.
For sure.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next?
That's a good question. Let's talk about Bridges. I thought Bridges' second game in a row, he had a good offensive game, really playing within himself and within the system, but truly this was kind of his kind of a game. I mean, I think we had 5,000 assists on 13 made field goals or something like that. Like everybody was getting it
on 48 field goal attempts. Like only 7 shots weren't assisted.
That's incredible. Like incredible. It's ridiculous. I mean, you want to talk about the ball moving and finding the right people and getting people in rhythm and all of those things. And it was all on display last night. And just to put the opponent and their woes and their troubles and their limitations aside for a second, when the ball, they even said it on the broadcast last night, when the ball moves like it did last night, there is no defending it, right? That's one of the things that the Boston Celtics were so good at when they won their championship. For sure, impressive performance by him and the last couple of games, because even in the Indiana game, which we didn't play well, he made some shots then too, and I'm sure he'll have his times when he goes back to crawling underneath the bed, but it was nice to see him positively contribute in such a big way last night.
Bridges has looked really good the last few games on both the offensive and the defensive end. Feels like his motor has ticked up a little bit, and he's playing with a little more energy. Ajay said he's watching the show. Like, he's watching the show. He's he's hearing the complaints and he's picking it up a little bit. He went to the line 3 times last night. I think the night before he went twice. So, the past few games he's been, going to the
season's worth for him, right? 5 trips to the free throw line. That's like
oh, that's yeah. So I really like what I'm seeing from him. I'm not taking a lot from the game other than the response of the Knicks. That was super duper important. And so what? To your point, they were without Embiid, they were without Grimes, they were coming back off a West Coast trip. How many times have we seen the Knicks under similar circumstances not perform well? And to your point, they came out and they handled their business. Last night they shot 52.7% from the field, 44.5% from 3. They took 44 3-pointers. They made 20 of them. I mean, like, wow. And 81.5%, from the line. I'm not sure where else to go, like, in a game like this, right?
The Sixers got their all-star break started a little bit sooner than the Knicks. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. But
right.
But it's important. Again, this is a team that beat us twice on back-to-backs earlier in the season. So, and to have a good response after a poor showing, and really to kind of flip the script where Brunson, was hero ball in the fourth quarter in overtime, and then really just, and it's fun to say facilitator, but he really only had 4 assists last night too. Right. It's almost like he was just in the background, and the Knicks, everybody else just kind of stepped up, and the ball just. What is it that D'Antoni used to say? The ball has energy, or the ball finds energy, whatever that quote is. It certainly came to life last night, and it was good to see. And oh, by the way, OG Anunoby didn't play for the Knicks either, so we weren't at full strength either when we were on a back-to-back. So that's part of the context of this game too. Like, so. Yeah. I just think it's impressive, and it puts distance between us and the Sixers. These Eastern Conference standings, you lose that game, you're probably down to maybe a game or 2 ahead of them in the standings. Now you're probably 3 or 4 games ahead of them. I haven't looked at the standings, so I should know that, but I apologize. But you're talking about that's a big that's a 2-game swing, right?
5 games. I'm sorry, the Knicks 4.5 games.
4.5. Well, that's a big swing, right? Between 2.5 and 4.5, and because there's only 27 games left in the regular season, so it's not like it's not the halfway point. It's almost almost 2/3 of the way done, and so every game, man. That's why the Pacers game was so disappointing, and why this one is so uplifting, because when you can beat a division rival and a team that is, you know, right up there in the top 6, you know, and distance yourself a little bit. Every one of those games, all that cushion you can get matters.
Yeah. I hear you, David Smith. We did have 30 assists against Indiana, so it doesn't always work out that way, but for the most part.
We didn't guard anybody against Indiana, though. The offense was not the reason we lost against. I think that the Nets and the Sixers combined almost scored as much as the Pacers did in one game
right
against us. So it was, you know, a little bit different.
72 bench points. And listen, I don't expect that every game, but it was just good to see after Indiana.
And that was just Alvarado, by the way, the 72 bench points.
right. After, to use Gmo, shout out to Legion of Knicks, just to use his term, after Indiana's bench mollywopped us, you know, we were able to come back and do the same against, you know, the 76ers. A lot of bench support last night. Diawara had 14. Mitchell Robinson had 11 points. Alvarado to 26. We talked about Clarkson had 8. Huck 42, McCullough 4, Kolick 3, Dylan Jones 4. But a lot of bench support, you know, some of it in garbage time, but a good part of it wasn't. Well, you could say the entire game was
the entire second half was garbage time. But Mitchell Robinson with 4 blocked shots. It's been a while since we've seen that from him, and that's an encouraging sign, because that speaks to his activity on the defensive end, and it really shows that how valuable he can be. And I know they didn't have their usual center rotation, so maybe that helped. But whatever the reason, you know, he was 5 of 8 from the free throw line, I want to say, last night. So
that's 5 of 8 from the free throw line.
That's like a miracle. So that's what you get for hacking Mitch when you're down by 50. Like, who does that? But come on, Nick Nurse, do better. But
right, exactly. but again, the response, you know, the response by Mitchell Robinson, even last game in the second half, you know, when was it the last game or the game before, the Boston game, when they were fouling him? You know, he was much better in the second half. You got to like this. This is what I look for anyway. You know, the response from Alvarado going 1 of 5, you know, in his home debut, and then coming back 8 of 13, the response of the Knicks as a whole. So things are going to happen. You're not going to play well. How do you respond? And we do have a team of responders. Now, the playoffs, though, you let one get away, that could be the series. You know, that could be the series. So we got to get better at, you know, taking care of business beforehand.
I'm kind of curious if Alvarado just got caught up in the moment of being at MSG for the first time. You know what I mean? It's a local kid being at home for the first time and having the crowd there, the MSG crowd that you grew up as a part of. And now you know what I mean? I think maybe the moment was a little bit bigger than him. And then because in the 2 road games, he's been good in both of them. So it's a small sample size and all of that stuff. But I'm kind of curious if next home game, I think that's the 19th against Detroit, if I'm not right after.
It is Detroit. I'm not sure if it's home or away. Is it a home game?
I'm not sure. I think we're at home, though.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see if he bounces back. But I also am kind of curious that the Pistons kind of seem like a bad matchup for him. You know, because they have so much length. But at the other end, Cade likes to turn the ball over. So, you know, maybe he can get 8 steals instead of 5.
Yeah. Shout out to the art man, formerly known as Steve. We appreciate you always supporting the channel. Appreciate the super duper chat. What's good, family? Oh, shoot. Geoff dressed like the transporter. It's business time. Brunson shot 6 times and we won by 50. JB can always get a shot. He needs to start the game moving the ball. We flow better. Alvarado brings new energy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think for Brunson, it's about reads, right? That's what it comes down to. Just kind of reading what we need right now, you know? And I think for the most part, it's been a step in the right direction of late. But appreciate you, Art Man, formerly known as Steve.
For sure. What a generous contribution. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I would even argue that through 3 quarters, I didn't really hate Jalen Brunson's process against the Pacers. I thought it was really in the 4th quarter, where he decided that he was just going to, go 1-on-5 and try and take over the game. And look, that's fine. I don't mind him but literally nobody else was touching the ball. He was just coming down the court and just firing away, mostly from 3. And so, that's not what we need. And he knows that. I mean, I think if you asked him about it, he would say, yeah, I didn't play smart down the stretch. I kind of let my ego and my hubris kind of get the best of me a little bit and trying to beat up on Naismith and Nembhard. And the other part of that is he missed shots he usually makes. They weren't bad looks.
I was about to say, Geoff, I don't think he's saying I would do it differently. Because like these guys got egos. Like I don't think he's trying to do these things so he can look better. I think he really thinks he's helping the team. And I think he's probably thinking today, I should have made those shots. Not that I shouldn't have took them. He's probably beating himself up because he didn't make them. And shout out to Gmo. D-Relics, we wasn't sure if you were going to show up today.
Much respect, dude. Bro is a real one. I'm just saying, I don't have nice things to say about Sixer fans in general, but you have my respect times a million. It takes a real one to come up here after getting beat like that and show your face. So salute to you. You're always welcome here, and you're just a real one, man. Much respect.
Yeah. We said that last night. I said, I haven't seen DX Relish in a minute. I wonder if he's gonna show up tomorrow. And you did. We definitely appreciate you. No,
not too late to change sides, DX Relish. Not too late. We'll take you.
I think the Sixers, if they stay healthy, they'll be right in the mix come playoff time. Right in the mix come playoff time. Particularly how Embiid has looked, right?
100%.
And the team is not built around him.
Edge coat makes a huge difference. That kid is the real deal. He's young, but he's the real deal. He and Maxey are a problem backcourt. I mean, they just when you as you said, when Embiid is healthy and ready to go, and he has been for a good portion of the season, at least of late. Mm-hmm. That they are not a team that you want to see in the first round if you can help it.
Yeah. Bricks Nation, Cavs looking scary too. This is gonna be a fun playoff though. Listen, I don't know how you get through it. If that's Hennessy, if that's blood pressure medication, if that's a defibrillator on the side, however you're gonna get through this playoffs, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. All right. Anything else? We're gonna get to the chat early. Let me just see if there's anything else to point out. Landry Shamet, 9 points. Brunson, 8. Hart, 6 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 rebounds in 30 minutes. Jose Alvarado for those into plus minus with the highest plus minus at 35, followed by Josh Hart, 32. And as Geoff said, everybody above 10 except for Dylan Jones, who was plus 4. I don't think there's anything else that stands out that we did not already talk about. Everybody's turnovers was 2 or less. Okay. All right. Let's get to the chat. Okay. Kerry Cox, Josh Hart, and Diawara had excellent games. Yeah, Diawara last night, 21 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8 from, from the 3-point line.
Can I ask a question? Because I didn't get to see I didn't get home until the fourth quarter. Were most of his minutes during garbage time? I know he was out there, or did he play a good chunk when the game was still in the balance for those 30 seconds?
He did. So in the first half, he played 7 minutes, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal. He was 2 of 2 for 3. And those 3-point shots were in the flow of the game. Defensively, he got beat off the dribble a few times, going to the rim. But you could say that about many Knick fans. I think with his lateral quickness, though, I think that's something that he can get better at. Like, I don't think guys should be taking him off the dribble and easily getting to the basket. But overall, I thought Diawara was good.
He's 20 years old and he's learning, NBA defense. So that's going to happen a little bit at first, but as he kind of gets used to the speed of the game, and he's already been good, he is already playable in terms of speed. But when it slows down for him, then you're really, I think, going to see that less and less. I really like the Diawara pickup. I didn't think at the start of the season he was going to see a minute. And he has worked himself into the rotation. So kudos to him. Just excellent job. And injuries, OG being out certainly had a lot to do with that. But even when OG was playing, Mike Brown likes him enough to kind of plug him in for at least a little bit, which is nice to see. I mean, you need guys like that.
Yeah, there's something to be said for growing a player and even growing a bench, right? We talked about this last season, with Thibodeau. Even if you don't think you have a bench, sometimes early on you just have to play them and just hope they grow into something as the season goes on, because come playoffs, you're going to need that. And you could do that with a player too. Like, just give them some minutes here and there, see how they respond. If they respond well, give them a little more minutes and just kind of grow a player. Don't put them in situations where you're absolutely, counting on them. And that takes the pressure off of them as well. If they do well, great. If they don't, you just don't play them. You have other players. And I think Mike Brown has been masterful with that as far as Diawara is concerned. And I think overall, when things get tight, he'll get tight too. He'll tighten it up and we'll play 7.5, 8 players. But then, when it's time to loosen it up, he'll loosen it up as well. And because he's played these guys, he knows them. So he knows he can put them in for spot minutes. He knows that, if someone's injured, I know who they are because I've been playing them. So
they know, right? And they know as this is equally as important. It's a dual thing, because if you haven't been thrust into a situation before, how you're going to respond is always a question mark. But if you've soaked in some minutes and you've played and you've seen the action, you have more of an experience base to draw from, and that can be important if you are cast into a situation where you're forced to play.
Exactly. Yeah, was he available last night?
I don't think he was. He must have been injured or something, because he was not listed as ESPN didn't even have him as
inactive.
Decisions inactive.
Yeah, he was inactive. That would have said a lot. If he didn't get into the game, if he didn't get into last night, 49.
Dylan Jones played 4 minutes last night. I mean, they were pulling people out of the crowd because it was a partisan Knick crowd. Like, they were shouting Jose's name in Philly. How great is that?
Right.
Like, that was one of my favorite things about it. And shout out to I am remiss. I meant to do this at the beginning. I have to give credit to Tony Crow, because Tony Crow in the Indiana game texted me and said how well Brunson and Cat were playing together. They were both having a good game at the same time. And then he texted me last week and said, "I'm not saying nothing." And so I said, your restraint is what got us that win. So I want to give Tony Crow his flowers and his full credit. We wouldn't have won the game without your restraint, my brother. It was good to talk to you over text last night. And And hey, if you're around and you're listening, we'd love to see you on the show tonight if you have the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Latoria B, appreciate you rocking with us. Keith Turner, I actually didn't have to break out Hennessy for a game. Good job. Appreciate you. Kerry Cox, Shamet looks like he lost his shot. He was 2 of 4 last night, 0 of 2 from 3.
He's 6 of 15 in his last 15 shots from 3. I mean, he hadn't lost his shot. Maybe not as hot as he was, but he's fine. I mean, he's a shooter. They go through ups and downs, but he's fine.
Yeah. Kim Doc, I love a good bounce back, belt to ass. I know that's right, sis. And B looks stunned on the bench. Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted to go out and hurt somebody. He probably was like, give me a chance to tackle Mitchell Robinson. Oh, wait, they did that anyway.
Right. Jose is a freaking pit bull. Heart makes up for size. Yeah. He's.
They played together, Hart and Alvarado,
in
New Orleans. You can kind of tell that they like each other and they have an affinity for one another. So that's kind of a cool aspect of bringing him on board too. There's already a little bit of chemistry with those two guys, and they both like to play in the open court, which I think is a good thing too if they're in lineups together.
Yeah, for sure. Kerry Cox, we still need a backup power forward center. We're going to talk about this tonight. So this is a good time on the break on the weekly show. We're going to review I can't even say the first half of the season because it's more than half. The first part of the season, we're going to review that tonight. And then we're also going to talk about the roster. We're going to talk about buyout candidates. Jeremy Sohan was bought out by the San Antonio Spurs. Not sure if the Knicks are still looking for a forward. Not sure because of his lack of shooting. If they are, if he would be the guy, they would, consider. Or is center more of a dire need given Towns' foul shooting? I think I read somewhere, this might have been in the Daily Knicks article, he's 4th in the NBA in total fouls. And then Mitchell Robinson's injury history, though Mitchell Robinson has been fine this season. Do they want to bring in a center for insurance, or do they believe in Huck Porty and Trey Jemison if foul trouble or injuries were to hit? So that's going to be interesting to see which way the Knicks go. They covered the point guard spot already with Alvarado. So Kerry Cox and the rest of you tune in tonight. We're gonna talk about we'll talk about that. Kim Doc says shout out to the shooting coach. Geoff is trying to impress Dolan and the Dom himself, Leon.
Hey, if the Knicks want to hire me, I won't say no, but they don't want to hire me. I can promise you that. And whoever said that they wanted me to do their taxes, no, you don't.
Cavs look scary. Yeah, the Cavaliers are in 4th place right now, only 1 game behind the Knicks. They're 9-1 over their last 10, and they've won 5 straight.
Hottest team in the East, other than Charlotte, and in terms of wins consecutively, they're hotter than them. So, the Cavs are playing well, but they have a lot of talent in Cleveland. Like that team they were underachieving, and I think maybe first of all, Harden's an upgrade over Garland. I don't think anybody disputes that, and I think They have a lot of talent over there, so they're just kind of playing more so up to par, I think, than what they were early in the season.
Yeah, for sure. Wiz BKLA, appreciate you. GTA 5 will take minutes from Shamet, Deuce, and Kolek. Really? I mean, he's only been getting like 18. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because he just got here. I don't see it. I don't think Kolek will be in the rotation. I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be interesting if and when Deuce is back. Like if Deuce is able to come back for the playoffs, it will be interesting to see how those minutes play out between Shamet, Deuce, and Alvarado. That is a fascinating topic to discuss, because there will be a crunch at that point, and I think Kolek will obviously be the odd man out in that.
Well, he's the odd man out now, Geoff.
Yeah, that's why I said he's obviously so but even between those three, how do you divide that from a backup standpoint?
I mean, I personally would do Alvarado and Deuce. I just like the way Alvarado handles the team. But Brown loves Shamet. Shamet has more gravity than Karl Anthony Towns. Like, he loves him some Shamet. So in that respect, then you're right. I don't know how it's going to work out.
But the cool thing is, think about the point of attack defense, because you could keep two of those guys on the floor pretty much at all times if you wanted to, and really mitigate. And Brunson has been better defensively this year. Let's be honest about that. He's having his best defensive season of his career by far, and so and if that continues, it gives us a lot more hopes of being a top 10 defense, because we can have better defensive combinations on the floor at all times.
Right. Nick Yak, our perfect game. All right. Appreciate you. David Smith, Towns 21 points, 11 rebounds, 8 of 13 from the field, and a plus 29 in only 26 minutes.
What did he have for breakfast? That's what we want to know, David. You can't just, we can get that stuff off of ESPN.
Brick Nation, the game was a blowout 5 minutes in. Nick Yak, we never let up, and our centers were terrific, especially playing two bigs. Okay. All right. DX Relish, I should have brought out the Hennessy the way Philly looked. Yeah. Who I think the Knick players are looking forward to the All-Star break, those who are not, going to the game. But I also think David Smith is looking forward to the All-Star game, so he could just relax. You don't have to be up in the chat talking about Cat and what he did the last game and didn't do the last game. You could just have some Hennessy. Just, smooth on out, get your throat together, get your thumb pads, your finger pads ready for, the second part of the season after the All-Star break. Shout out to you, David Smith. Huck Porty has been good enough. It's a 4. Nah. Huck Porty is okay.
Yeah, listen, I'm not comfortable with Huck Porty. I'm going to be honest with you right now.
Yeah. Like, don't confuse activity and energy with results.
Amen. Yes.
He's a very active. What time do we come on? Tonight we come on at 9. Listen, if you want to be on the panel, Latoria, let me know. I'll definitely, DM you the link. But we're on tonight at 9. Jamrock, always, I'm sorry. I still think we need another wing defender, Sohan or Thibault, if he is healthy and Wade. I mean, neither one of them are shooters, but I love if we can get some height and somebody who can defend. I think I would take that over somebody who can shoot and can't defend. If I had to choose, given the current makeup of this roster, I wouldn't say that would be my choice in a vacuum. Okay. All right. Can't wait to see Jose and Deuce together. Absolutely. Okay. All right. David Smith disagrees. He thinks Brunson is still an enormous liability. I mean, I think there was a stretch in the season where, to the eye test, I don't know what the stats said, to the eye test, he just didn't look good. He didn't look like himself. Like, I remember last season him fighting over screens, like really trying laterally, keeping guys out the paint. And there was a stretch where he just didn't look good. I'm kind of seeing the same things from last year, of late, and it's been a big stretch. I'm not even talking about the last 2-3 games. It's been a big stretch. So, his height, his size, it is going to be what it's going to be. I like the fact the Knicks aren't over rotating when he's in a one-on-one matchup. Just let him get beat over the top. Sometimes instead of always, bees to honey, right? And giving up 3-point shots. So I think he's been pretty good of late. Let me know in the chat what you think. Cindy. Okay. I'm not. Maybe I'll get to Freezy and text it to you. If you're on Twitter, I could try to DM it. But don't worry. Well, I'll get it to you. East Blue Drew. Appreciate you. All right. Any last words?
Make sure you tune in tonight. It's going to be a great show. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. And the games like this are nice, but there's not a whole lot to talk about when you just completely eviscerate your opponent. It's kind of like, well, yeah, we played well. They didn't. And so shout out to you guys for making it into a 45-minute show by your comments.
I didn't have
well, I mean, they really kept it alive and active. And so I appreciate the opinions. And y'all already know we've got the hostess with the mostest with Queen, and she does a great job. And so it's an honor to be a part of this. And always a privilege and always a pleasure.
Yeah. I appreciate you too, Geoff, and shout out to Nick Yak and shout out to the rest of you. We did reach 100 subscribers on the Facebook page. So today was the first show in a long time since Facebook changed their criteria that we stream to Facebook today. So shout out to Nick Yak, man. Nick Nation. He texted me. He said, I got some friends. I got my feelers out. I got some friends who's going to subscribe. And then he texted me again. He said, we got 100. We got 100. So shout out to Nick Yak hustling for the channel. And shout out to the rest of you. You guys make this worth wanting to do. Like for me, this is not about money at all. This is just about creating a space where I could be myself and creating a space where I can, be with Geoff and Ajay, Jerrell, and the rest of you. And I'm always flattered when people want to be on the show. Like that means a lot. Like, wow, somebody wants to come share the panel, with us. So Latoria B, I'm looking forward, to rocking with you tonight. Okay. She DM'd me. Okay, perfect. Looking forward to that tonight, 9:00. Until next time, family, listen, I could go get me something to drink before I go back to work now. 1:15.
No Hennessy, Queen.
I'm a whiskey person. I'm a bourbon. I'm bourbon, but you're right. None of that either. When I do drink, I don't drink a lot. All right. Definitely. You're dope too, Latoria. Until next time, family, we appreciate you. Always a pleasure.
Sister, you're one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't so.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't so.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't so.
What?
Don't so.
What?
You're